What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Essential Badass and welcome to a little walkthrough slash let's play review on State of Decay. This was a game that came out recently on the Xbox One, I think. Wait, I've got a bit of a cold. But I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if I've got my memory right, but I think this game was on the 360. I'm not too sure, I think it was, and I bought the trial of it and I wasn't too... I was a bit iffy on the game as should this be for me? Obviously in trials they don't really give you much, they just give you like a wee taste on stuff. So I was iffy on buying the game in the 360. And I saw it here on the Xbox One for £19 if you're in like, the UK and Ireland. No wait, just the UK part of Ireland, but you know what I mean. So this game is pretty much a third-person survival, zombie survival game. I was going to call it survival horror, but it's not really horror, it's just zombies. The one thing I find unique about this game than other zombie games is you can build up a community, like a wee base camp, like in The Walking Dead. They had the prison and stuff like that. I wish they had a prison in this. I'm a big Walking Dead fan, and if they had a prison you can make as your home base, like that would be I'd try and recruit a sheriff into my community and just play as the sheriff constantly. I'd try to be Rick. Enough about my really obsession with The Walking Dead. This game is actually quite unique for a zombie game. Look, it has an okay story. Look, I think it has a story, I'm not sure. But I'm guessing like you play as you can play as other people, but you right at the start of the game you play as Marcus and his pal. Well, you don't play him as Ed, but you play as Marcus with his pal Ed. I think they went on a camping trip on this place, and you come back after like 2 weeks or something. I think Ed said, and I'm trying to think of stuff words. But you come back obviously and the place is zombie heaven or whatever. So it's pretty much right here. This is like the surveying mechanic. This is actually quite good. Like this gives you a rough idea on your surrounding areas. It's kind of like Assassin's Creed where like, you have the sync thing and only you manually do this. It's kind of like you're like scouting at the place. So I thought everything was okay, then I realised I just look at the surveying meter and I noticed that I didn't fill up, so I was like, oh wait. You don't actually have to survey areas. Like, obviously this is a tutorial area, so this is a tutorial area, so I was like, I'll do this just for like the video purposes. When you're into like the main town, like, once you're in the main area of the game, my dog's deciding to cough on me. There you go, boy. So when you're in the main area, you don't have to survey it. You can just run around blind. So it made it sound so much better. But you can run around blind. You can make it a bit more. You can give the game an area of surprise. Like, see you walk into this building like this. Like, there is a super mega store in it. So, see you go into this mega store. You don't know if there's like, stuff around it, so you walk in, and then let's say this, you walk in, open the doors, and then there's just a wild pack of zombies just running for you. It is quite fun, but obviously you'd like a bit of intel when you're playing these types of games. I do anyway, but that's just me, I'm a weirdo. So pretty much like you can scavenge any. It's like a free roam zombie game. Well, obviously it's free roam essential, so shut up. But it is like mainly free roaming. Like it's kind of the way Dead Rising is. Like you can run about and then people give you mission. Like you get a mission on the radio and you go to the mission, obviously. But it is quite. Well, it is a really unique game. In my opinion, I find it really unique. Voice acting for the game is really well done. I can't really, I've not really experienced any bugs or anything. There is a few moments where there's frame rate issues, but they're not really extremely bad frame rate issues. Now, I broke my own rule. I always thought to myself, I'll keep 2 melee weapons, because in this game, melee weapons can actually break. So it adds a bit, adds a wee bit of like, conservation, or however you say the word. I'm not going to try and pronounce that and get laughed at. But look, the game is honestly a really well done game. I'm still trying to rack my brains if this was on the 360, if I bought this or no. But it is worth. You get 3 DLC packs, the main all the DLC that was on the 360, and if you had any saves from the 360, you can bring them back over, which is quite good with these remastered games. I done it for Borderlands, and I didn't realise I had a level 72 Necromancer, but I just played as the assassin. But I just picked the assassin just because I didn't really play as him as much. And I'm trying to think of more things to say. Honestly, I'm losing myself.
Bad idea, actually. We need to make things safer.
Scavenging, that's what I was trying to think of. I was trying to talk about. Scavenging, look, right here you can see I'm speeding up the scavenging process. I wouldn't recommend it, because look, when you're doing it, you can make a lot of noise, and you can attract, I don't know, you can attract a lot of zombies. You can attract a lot. The worst thing is when you're doing it, look, his moment, actually does, there is random moments where you can be searching, you speed it up, and as soon as you're finished searching, it makes this really loud noise that will attract I mean a shit ton of zombies to you where you are. It is, and shooting guns as well, obviously. That brings attention to the zombies. So there is suppressors you can buy, but they only last so many rounds. Homemade suppressors last 10 rounds. Ammo, they don't work in shotguns obviously and stuff like that, so if you have a shotgun and you're trying to get a silencer, wouldn't recommend it. Use a pistol or a AR or SMG. But I do like these types of games. I think if they added I don't know if I've said this before, but I think a multiplayer aspect, I don't know, they add a new game mode. If they add the mode where you can play with I don't know, 4 or 5 of your buddies, you can all build, you all can pick your community, where do you want to build up. It doesn't have to be this map, it can be a totally different map, and you can start a community, you and your pals can all start a community, and
is it this bad everywhere?
Look,
man, I hope. We got some survivors back at the ranger station.
You've got so long until there's relief efforts, the National Guard come in or something like that.
You want to take point, or should I?
I think if they added that, it would be a bit more, well, I wouldn't say a bit more fun, but it would add a little layer of cooperative gameplay, because this game actually seems to be the type of, it would be good, because obviously you can coordinate with your pals, right, you scavenge this build and I'll scavenge this build, and then your fourth pal, he can keep the edgy for zombies and hordes and stuff. And it adds a little layer of cooperation. But I don't mind the single player aspect. I'm quite surprised this game actually. I was single player on the 360 as well, but I'm actually quite glad that this game decided they had the cojones to go, right, we're doing a single player game, you don't like it, don't buy it. Which is quite a big thing to do. A lot of people are into multiplayer nowadays. I mean well into multiplayer. My dog is really sucking up to me, he wants something. Hey buddy. So look, this is obviously the tutorial area. This isn't really your community, obviously. I think you can have an option to make this your community. I'm not sure.
What the hell?
I'm not 100%. I've not actually went through the the main game yet,
just a minute ago.
so I have no idea.
Guys, come on.
Oh.
I gotta at least check the place. Somebody might
And right here,
survive.
this is like one of the most cliched thing in zombie games and movies. Your AI partner or somebody in the movie goes up to check if a guy's dead. Then the next minute, the guy just springs to life and starts munching on him. It's just, although it does make it a bit more realistic that people would obviously check. I think that's why zombie games and films are quite popular, is because because zombies are people that resemble people a lot. And say you have never watched a zombie movie in your life, and say a zombie apocalypse happens to now, and this guy's lying unconscious, dead right in the middle of your street. So you obviously, your human instinct will go, right, I need to help this guy, phone an ambulance or something, and then the next minute you go to check the guy's pulse, and then he just springs up to life and starts munching on your neck. So it adds a bit of realism that obviously in human nature you will help people that are in dire need of help, in dire need. Right here I'm taking ammo that I do not need, but when you're in a community, you don't actually pick your community, you get picked up by these people, as you'll hear in a second. You get picked up to a community, or you can have enclaves, however you pronounce it. You have these types of, you can have all these areas, and you can, it's kind of like the currency, influence is a currency type thing they have in the game. If you've got so much influence with a community, or with your community or an enclave, you can buy, take some of the better gear, you can take an AR, shotgun, a proper shotgun, no a sawed-off one with 2 shots. Not saying that it's no bad idea to have a 2-shot shotgun, just saying, but you can have, there's quite a lot of things you can actually do in this game. With the money, back to the money system, say that ammo I picked up there, that gives you 1 influence every time you give them ammo. So I've took, I think it's 30 rounds or 60 rounds ammunition. I give them that, I've got a lot of influence, and I can buy the better gear. And you could, the one thing I mainly like about this game is I can treat it like you can play this game in, well, for me I've played it in 2 ways. I've played it as the run and gun, shoot people in the face, ask questions later, worry about the shit ton of zombies that's bashing down my front door later type gameplay. And then I played the more reserved, scavenging, low profile and stuff. I think playing as the low profile stuff that makes it a bit more realistic. But obviously if you want to play the run and gun, shoot people in the face, ask questions later type gameplay, then by all means go for it. The one thing I think they should have added in this game was a bit more bandits and stuff like that. You know how in most zombie apocalypses, people, you'll get the arseholes that don't want to help people at all, and you'll get the people that want to help. I think they should have added more people that would rather rob you for your stuff than... don't get me wrong, I like the game, but I think if they added, made an update where there's bandits and stuff like that, people that go about robbing people, going into communities and start fighting with other people, that would be quite cool. I think that would be add another layer to the game, another worry, if you mean. You have to actually go back to your home base at times and help defend it from banditry people. As you seen there was a bit of a frame rate issue, the guy froze out of position, but that isn't even really too major. It doesn't really take it for the game. It's not like if the game crashes constantly. The game runs smoothly. I hope you enjoyed this video, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you in the next part.